Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Velocity Channel, where this is your bridge to financial freedom. Today, we have a special edition. We're going to be analyzing and reacting to Dave Ramsey's latest video that he did. This is what's keeping the people in the middle class. And not only do we want to react to it, we want to actually give you an illustration of what we mean by velocity banking and what is really keeping people in the middle class. So you're going to have to wait because a couple of minutes, because we're going to be hearing what he says. We're going to look at the numbers. Then we're going to react and give you an illustration as to why you should be taking a different route than the route that he's suggesting, or whatever your goals are, you can do that. Now, listen, I'm not hating on Dave. Listen, I invested, right? Listen, we love Dave, okay? Financial Peace University and everything, okay? So that's not where we're coming from. It's just like Maya Angelou said, when you have the opportunity, right? When you know better, then you have the opportunity to do better, and that's what we are doing. So let's go ahead and look at this and do some reactions and illustrations of numbers that perhaps work better for you. Let's get into it. Okay, notice something right away, how that he goes immediately into what about that increase in income, right? When are you going to make 90,000? And you hear how the man said, well, 5 years from now. And then Dave's face was like, what in the world? But he's later going to explain that he's actually in the military. Folks, we don't need more income. We just need to know what to do with the income that we have. And that's what we are about to look at. As we look inside this example, we can glean some things that that young man said. Okay, he said that I have the $30,000. Okay, he's already saved it up. Okay, so instead of placing it towards a loan, right, which it was definitely a negative for him. Okay, what about this? Has he thought about placing it inside a secure line of credit instead? Why? So that he can continue to have the $30,000. And this is what I mean. Even if the line of credit was at a 20% interest rate, it would still be better than placing that $30,000 all the way towards a loan, freezing up that money. That money's gone and you cannot use it again. Now, this illustration, it actually presupposes that it's at a 6% interest rate with a $708 minimum monthly payment for this car loan. And if he continues on that for the 6 years, $5,874 in total interest he would pay versus just having this line of credit and using it as, fill in the blank, your new checking account. Now, he makes the $5,000, right, each and every month, expenses at $3,000. That leaves us with a cash flow of $2,000. Now, why would he want to choose 20% over 6%? Why am I saying let's go ahead and place this $30,000 all the way towards that vehicle and just use this line of credit as your new checking account? Why? Well, this is why, and I'm glad you asked. Because with that interest rate of 20% and that limit now, because remember, this is a secured line of credit, of $30,000, that $30,000 over here is gone. And oh, by the way, that that $3,000 in expenses, it included this massive monthly payment. But guess who doesn't have to worry about that anymore? All right. So where does this $708 go? It goes right here because we no longer have this loan. Now, some may say, yeah, but you still got a 20% loan. Listen, write this down. Loans are not lines. Loans are calculated differently than lines of credit. This 20% line is actually less than this 6% loan that this fella no longer has to worry about. So we're going to be using the line of credit, which means $5,000 goes in and then $3,000 goes out. But what stays? The $2,000. You say, CJ, he no longer has the loan, so Actually, that $2,000 has to change. I know. But for easy math, right? So we're going to be getting rid of that $30,000, right? This is the balance now, divided by the 2,000, which is the cash flow. We're going to go ahead and do some math here. That's okay. 15 months. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So it's going to take them 15 months to go back up to the $30,000. Oh, wait. This just in. He's actually making more than the 60 grand that we have, right? The 5,000 each month. That's actually going to be average out to, because he said 80,000, he makes $80,000 a year. So that's going to average out to $6,666 each month, which means he's going to have even more cash flow, which means he's going to pay it down even in less time, which means he would pay it down in 8 months. And oh, by the way, the total interest over here is $4,808 and some change, but it's still less than the $5,874. And in 8 months, once this is filled back up, he would have that to place towards the investment that he wanted. You're welcome. Can I just share with you that we don't know the time, right? When we're going to get these vehicles, when we're going to get the home. The time is not guaranteed. But you know what can be a guarantee? Your plan. You can put together a plan and follow it. But if you don't have any predictive program, as far as your cash flow is concerned, how are you going to get to your goal when you don't have a plan? And what I just showed you was a plan, an action plan to get there. So that if you want to have the car, it doesn't have to be a hard no. We'll show you how to pay it off. This system shows you how to pay it off. Plug it, plug all those numbers in, the income, the expenses, the debt, and then get the results out. And you saw it, over $168,000 saved. That means it's in your pocket, not the bank's. And so if you have no system, if you have no plan, go ahead and follow that line of logic. Go ahead and postpone your dreams. Go ahead and postpone what you'd like to do instead of having a plan and saying, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do this. You know, I like what that 25-year-old kid said while he was at the dealership. He looked on his phone, right? Because he got the automated velocity banking system that we talk about. And he said, well, let me see if I can do this. You know how car dealers are, you know, and I was one, I'm not hating, okay? But he punched on his phone, let me see if I can do this deal. And the car dealer was trying to talk to him, and he was kind of puzzled. He was like, what is this kid doing? Let me see if I can do it. And the kid said, you know what? I can do it. But it wasn't from the car dealer. It wasn't from a talking head. It was by the numbers. He plugged it in, and the system said, here it is. We no longer use typewriters, right? We now have a program. We now have computers. Let's step into the 21st century. Let's step out of fossilized banking and into velocity banking.